What the heck has gotten into Brett Baty? I love this guy. He was the hero for the Mets last night, driving in 3 runs on a couple hits, including one off a nasty lefty Garrett Crochet. How about that? Baty was 2 for 2 with runners in scoring position, which was sorely needed for the scuffling Mets offense. Brett Baty, the savior. Harp, I know you've always been high on Brett Baty, and certainly he's shown you a lot here lately. What exactly are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to stay high on him. You had to have your doubts the way he's been up and down, but now, and you mentioned Crochet, lefties hitting 162 against him, and that tells you something about him. And I talked to a scout this morning and said, look at the way Crochet handled Soto, your guy, Sal, and then compared to what Baty did against him. You know, he hung in there on a 96-mile-an-hour cutter or sinker inside and drilled it up the middle. I think, to me, though, it's almost all about confidence with him. You see, he's bouncing around third base, you know, in a way I've never seen defensively. I think that confidence is carrying over. You can see it at the plate. He's making much better swing decisions than he did when he was up earlier. And even that last at bat against the other lefty, he takes the ball the other way in a clutch situation there. And you heard what he said afterwards. He was kind of thinking that the guy would go that way against him because he had hit a slider the night before. So he's always had a good head for the game. I think now the confidence is really starting to fill the gaps in.
I feel like that's the thing that does not get talked about enough when it comes to Brett Baty. It's his perseverance. I mean, this is a guy that's been through the ringer when it comes to being up and down and struggling. Nobody has really struggled the way that he has struggled to start his career. I mean, since 2010, as this graphic will show you, we have Luis Brinson on this list, a flamed-out prospect, a glove-first shortstop next, and then somebody who has not yet panned out for the Chicago White Sox. And then it's Brett Baty through 177 career games with the lowest OPS since 2010. Minimum 600 at bats. So he's getting his 600 plate appearances. So he's getting his time. And he was up, down, didn't get going. But for me, it's the perseverance. It's this guy, since his last 28 games, his OPS 828. And so that tells me that he's responding now. Yeah. We are seeing somebody who is no longer having that defensive swing where he's grounding out to second base, almost trying not to strike out, right? Like swinging at that first pitch or going 0-1, 0-2. His quality at bats have been really so much better. And we're just seeing a guy who's confident both defensively and offensively right now.
We talked about it yesterday, Sal, in terms of Garrett Crochet being that guy who I said is a dog. Well, yeah. Left on left, right? You mentioned numbers 163. That's a good sign. You take that ball to the opposite field. It's not easy to do that against that guy. Yeah. And then you talk about the defense with him. Having a defense with a shortstop and third baseman on that side of the field and you shoring up that side of defense is pivotal for a team to be able to have success. I believe he's stepping into his own. You're seeing it right now.
Dude, he looks like a Gold Glover.
Very different guy. Well, you see that Yankee series, the way he was bouncing and flying across the field. I mean, he never played like that when he first came up. I mean, he's grown into the position, and actually Mendoza made the point that he thinks the work at second base with him has really improved his footwork and allowed him to be even better at third, but he does look like a different guy.
Remember, because even when we were high on Baty as a prospect, there were still some question marks about him defensively. Yeah. He hasn't just been playing good third base, Gold Glove third base, and the offense, and he really looks to me just like a confident player, which is maybe something that's been lacking the majority of his career so far. Will, how do you see the Mets third base situation playing out here, whether it's Vientos, whether it's Baty, or even Mauricio?
Well, I want to see Brett Baty a lot more than we're seeing Brett Baty. I want to see him at third base almost all the time, right? And he deserves it. I think you nailed it, Sal, because it's like he's getting after it at third base. He's being aggressive toward the ball. He's not letting it have that bounce to him like he did a couple of years ago when he first came up. And again, he was almost like playing a defensive guy out there where he was unsure of himself at all times. He's not that way. He's out there. He's getting that ball. So for me, that's the third baseman that I want to see for the Mets, especially with all these ground ball pitchers, right? Like you need somebody who's competent at that spot. And right now, Vientos is just not hitting enough to warrant putting him at third base.
He's hurt them a little bit with the glove.
Yes, he has. Yeah. And he's just not hitting. So I prefer him at DH right now. And as far as Mauricio goes, that one's going to take a little bit more time. I just feel like I know that everybody's seen the highlights of him hitting home runs in AAA and everybody's getting excited about him. I'm excited too. He's probably he's the guy who's up on my list as far as Mets prospects go. I'm excited about him, but he's coming off a season where he did not play a single inning last year. So it was a huge injury. They're going to wait this out, is what I've been told. He's yet to play back-to-back 9-inning games in the field. So I think that will be the telltale sign of, okay, this is when things are starting to move in the direction of maybe he's going to get this call up. So the third base situation, a problem probably for another day in the future, maybe a few weeks from now. But we'll see, because right now it seems like Brett Baty's the guy who's in control of third base, at least from a defensive standpoint, until Vientos Vientos can get going with the bat.
Yeah, oddly enough, Baty could be to this year's team what Vientos was to last year's team.